Hey Brian, this is a response to your response on GM Power because you laid out a few questions for me. This also gives me a chance to thank you for all the video replies you've been doing lately. It's been kind of humbling to see. My original intent has always been to invoke thought and discussion, and now months after I've put out the original videos, it's great to see that there's still new things that I can learn from people about these concepts. So your questions were regarding the D20 system, which I will admit I have less experience with than probably a lot of people who are watching this video. I played a lot of 2nd edition, I played a bit of 3, and once 3.5 came out I don't remember upgrading. I've also played some Pathfinder and 4th edition once you move on to that. But in regards to the D20 genre, especially as it branches out to everything else, I have probably less experience, but I do believe I have an understanding of them. So forgive any mistakes that come from ignorance on my part. So you had 3 questions. When do skills override feats? When should a feat override a skill? And should a feat be a part of a high-level skill? So what I want to first do is talk about what my understanding of feats versus skills are in that game, and then move on from there. The way I've always seen feats is feats are what allow a player to make their character theirs, unique and different from everyone else that happens to have the same stats. So you may have your fighter who has, power, attack, and cleave, almost everyone does, but somebody else could say, no, I want my fighter to have the ability, I forget the name of it right now, where they can use dexterity for their strike attack as opposed to strength. And therefore they get a little bit more of a finesse type, yeah, that's what it was, finesse, weapon finesse. So you get a little bit more flavor out of those, but of course there were feats that directly impacted skills. I remember, especially for rogues, there were certainly some skills that would allow you to get just a little bit more out of those. And I think that would be more a specialist kind of a character. Skills, on the other hand, seem to be the mechanics that we all interact with on a regular basis. If you need to climb, there's your climb skill. If you need to talk your way through a situation, well, there's bluff, diplomacy, intimidate, whatever the case might be. We have different options available to us depending upon what we're trying to accomplish in the game, and the skills are simply just the mechanical tools we use to do it. In general, I think the flavor of a game, the theme and tone and the flavor of the characters generally tends to be more important, but that's also very true of the games that I play. Now, imagining that I was in a situation where it was my call, which often in a D&D type of game or any type of D20 game is the role of the GM. If I were given the choice of, okay, a player's in a situation, they have a feat that is conflicting with a skill, let's say the feat might say they don't need to make a roll and the skill says that they do, I would usually go with not making them roll. There's more than one reason for this. I realize it could get abused, and I generally trust my players not to do that. But by telling a player, no, you don't need to roll the dice on this, your character is that good, it is affirming the character and it is trusting the player, and usually that trust is returned in kind. But also, it really helps the player feel that their character is somebody special, and that's very important to me. Your final question is an interesting one. Should a feat be a part of a high-level skill? I would not say as a blanket yes, but maybe at a high-level skill they have a few different options. Rather than everybody who gets their diplomacy to this rank has this feat, maybe they can kind of choose what that really means for them. What kind of a person are they? Are they sort of a silver-tongued person? Or like somebody who is a bit of a huckster who can talk their way through anything? Or are they a little bit more of a diplomat who can work their way through and find common ground between people? It depends upon the character. So I definitely would think it's a very good idea to have skills at high levels, high skill ranks tied to feats. I don't think it should just be a blanket. At this point, that happens. Anyway, very deceptively good questions. When I first heard them, I didn't realize just how much thought and how difficult it would be to really come to a good conclusion on this one. Thank you very much, and I hope my response has given you some insight, at least on how I view this.